Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to the comparison series where we compare two monsters with one another and try to decide who's the better monster. Today we're going to be comparing two amazing nature monsters, Laomu and Sara. So if you don't know by now, if you want to be a part of this discussion, if you want to be a part of the conversation, make sure to join my Discord. There's a link in the description. And once you're in the Discord, there's different channels you can go to. There's a channel for Laomu if you're in support of Laomu, and there's a channel for Sara if you're in support of Sara. So make sure you join Discord and go to the appropriate channel. I'm going to be pulling up one individual from each channel, and then you guys will debate over which two monsters are better, or which one of the two monsters is better. Also, let's normally when we do these comparisons, I kind of let you guys go all loose and stuff, but let's try to like develop some common ground. So for example, I know Laomu is breedable, and that already gives her a huge advantage because obviously you can get Laomu to like rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 and above, right? All the way to 130 if you're really devoted, whereas Sara, the only way to get her is buying her whenever she's on a sale. So obviously that rank that Laomu has gives her a huge advantage, but let's try to compare monsters on an equal playing field. So for example, if you want to compare a level 100 to a level 100 Laomu to a level 100 Sara, go for it. A 130 Laomu to a 130 Sara, go for it. Let's try to just forget about that rank advantage that Laomu obviously has. Anyways, with that being said, make sure to join the Discord. I'm going to go over each monster's stats, and then we'll begin. So, first things first, Laomu has a power of 3047. That is rather low, but I don't think that matters too much because most people would be running Laomu with all speedruns anyways. Life 29,556. That's pretty high. It's definitely higher than Sara's. She has about a 2,000 point advantage, and her speed is 3,476, which is absolutely one of the fastest speeds in the whole entire game. This is like top 20 material for sure. I don't know off the top of my head, but this is definitely a fantastic speed. Typically, deniers tend to have 3,465, so this beats it. And then her trait is hardened, so all status effects have a 20% less accuracy against it. So that is really, really helpful. Moving on to Sara, her power is 3,234, slightly higher than Laomu. Once again though, Sara, most people would probably run it with all speedruns, but anyways, her power is slightly higher. Her life is 27,445, again lower than Laomu, still I guess kind of high, and her speed is 3,476, exactly tied with Laomu, which makes both of these monsters the perfect ones to compare. And her trait is immune to stun, so this definitely helps her out in plenty of wars, like especially earth monsters, and even if for nature monsters, there's plenty of nature monsters that can stun. So with that being said, I am going to be moving on to the Discord and pulling people up. So just give me a second. Alright, we're on Discord. So, for Laomu, I am pulling up Flash Stan. Flash Stan, hey, you're on. And then for Sara, I am going to pull up Demon Slayer. Hey, Demon, you're on.
Hello.
Alright, so we're going to start things off with, let's hear the argument for Laomu.
Okay. So they both have the same speed, which is good. But Laomu has a better life, but he isn't really a tank, so. But Laomu has a possessing skill. The possessing skill is really good because, for example, you see in a team war, if you're facing against a Sara, you could possess her, and then she'll do her stun skill or her supportive skill, which gives immunity to stun. Also, Laomu, he has a lot of good supportive skills as well. He can heal by 25% to a single ally, but the bad thing is that it's 33 stamina and 2 turn cooldown. He also has poison skills, which are 40 damage, but they're nature. He also has a really good AoE, which gives a random negative effect to all targets, but it's 30 damage, which is, well, it's alright, but a good thing that is it's a special damage, so if it was a nature damage, then a nature skill, then it would do really low amount of damage to nature monsters. Now I'm going to talk about his special skill.
Okay.
He can heal by 25% to all allies this time. He gives them precision, he removes debuffs. If you get this like in a team war, let's say your whole team has been burnt or something like that, or stunned, except from Laomu, because he's hardened. He can just remove all those stuns, and then your team can move. That's all I have to say for now.
All right, Demon rebuttal.
Well, Sarah has like a skill that can remove bird and poison. So even though Lamu can poison, Sarah Sarah can just remove that. You can use the yellow wool shield, just remove that. And she also has an spammable. She has a 0 cooldown stun that is pretty useful because like for some monsters like having a low cooldown is pretty good. And um she also has like her trait stun, which could be useful, but it's just like in nature wars, like not most monsters are just gonna poison, like but Sarah can back that up. But Lamu has the trait of harden, so like of course Lamu can get stunned, poison, all those negative effects that you can think of. But so like having one like harden's pretty good, but it's just it's just not the best. Like when you compare it to like freeze and other stuff. Of course it's good, but it's just like when you compare it to other stats effects.
Mm-hmm.
The base speed is the same. So and the power, like of course Sarah has uh, a stun move with with energy regen. That's pretty useful, and it's special damage. So like it would do like not a lot of damage, but it can do a good amount of damage. And then like the next move, you can do like a poison. Like you can use the poison move. Like of course it's nature, but it's just like the DOT. It'll go after the DOT, but it probably won't kill Lamu in like one turn because Lamu has that healing move.
What skill set would you run on a Sara for offense?
I would use both the stuns,
Okay.
the healing, and I would use the red wool.
Red wool. All right. And what about you, Flash? What skills would you use on a Laomu for offense?
For offense, I'll use the possessing skill.
Okay.
I would use noxious hit, global gloom, and noxious blow.
Noxious blow. Okay. So you wouldn't bring the 40 life recovery on a single ally, or the 25 on an ally and yourself?
Well, it depends what type of Laomu you would do. Because if you want an attacker Laomu, then you could bring another supporter, or you could use the recovery move instead of the one of those attacking moves, such as noxious hit or noxious blow.
Okay. Granted that, what would both of you? Let's start with Demon and then Flash. What would you guys say are the common monsters you find on defense for nature?
It's general Altus. I see some Saras, and then sometimes Lamu,
Okay.
because like they're ranked.
Yeah, the rank.
But if it's like 100, then I'll mostly probably see like a Sarah or like a Altus. Sometimes a Lamu if they can even afford one.
Okay. What about you, Flash?
I see a lot of Cyan and the Judgment.
That is very interesting.
Sometimes I even see Ossa the Brave. I don't know why.
Oh well, he's good. Just
His trait.
yeah, he's a VIP, so you might not stun him, you might not possess him, and then he can take out your rarity monster.
Yeah, like one of my teammates, he has a 130
Wow.
Ossa, and he uses him like for defensive strategies.
Interesting. Do you guys want to ask each other a question about like why they think a monster is better than the other, or put a scenario out?
Well, I would use 3 speed runes for him.
Yeah.
Which it could be team speed runes, to be honest.
For a Lamu?
Yeah.
And Demon, what about you? What kind of runes would you use on Sarah? Demon? Demon, are you there? Well, that's interesting. Awkwardness. All right. Well, thank you, Flash.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, he's not talking. Yeah. So maybe I'll try pulling him back later. But thanks to the both of you. So we have one for Laomu and one for Sarah. Let's see what more people have to say.
Okay, bye.
Later. All right. So if you guys want to be a part of the conversation, make sure to join the Discord. There's currently not that many people on, so if you want this episode to last long and you want to debate over which monster is better, make sure to join the Discord. I'm going to be pulling up one more person right now. Hey Palax, you're here to defend Laomu, so give me your thoughts. Palax, are you there? Let me try pulling him back up. Hey, you there?
Yeah, just didn't turn on my microphone.
Okay, it's all good. Give me your thoughts on why Laomu is better.
Okay, I like Laomu more because she's breathable, first of all. You can rank her up. And with rank up, her power, speed, life increases. Which gives her, as I said, a huge advantage over Sarah.
Let's forget about the ranking up. Let's assume both monsters were like 130, 130.
Okay, 130.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I like Laomu better because she has a possession skill.
Yeah.
If she adds that on, like I don't know, Dakamfen, he has that a berserker, I think, skill. Then he has the triple damage. It's mostly over for her whole team, enemy team. She has a heal. She has Noxious Blow, which is heavy with poison. She has Global Gloom, which is a special to whole team and it adds negative effects. And I think when I do that, sometimes it can like freeze, possession, and 100% stamina drain. When that happens, it's like it's like a winning or losing chance, which I really like about her. And the fact that she has almost 30,000 life, which is amazing compared to Sara. She has almost 3,000 lower power or lower life. And this is the hardest thing because both of them are offensive. They can be offensive. Both are defenders. I would both put both on defense. And that's mostly it because I don't have anyone to speak with.
Yeah, sorry, there's no one here defending.
Yeah. So I would love to actually hear if you could tell something about Sarah, which back off if you can, so I can back off Laomu, if possible.
Yeah. So I'd have to say, I'm personally, I would support Sarah more. I'm a fan of Sarah, and honestly, both of these monsters, because they have the same speed, they're really good. In terms of countering, Laomu can easily possess Sarah if Sarah's on defense, and then Sarah might stun her teammate, might stun. Yeah, she can't stun herself. She'll stun a teammate, or she'll give your team immunity to stun and freeze. So that's one huge point for Laomu. Although if we turn it around, if Laomu is on defense and you're attacking with Sarah, there is an 80% chance you can stun. So Laomu still blocks 20% of the time. The great thing about Sarah is she can give herself energy regeneration, so she won't need to recharge probably throughout the whole game. And she also has Healing Glove, so if she attacks, she can recover life. But I think the best skill is the Red Wool Shield, the immunity to freeze or stun. That'll probably help you out in team wars involving like water monsters and earth monsters. If Sarah goes, because Sarah's really fast, faster than a lot of water deniers, faster than a lot of earth deniers. So if she goes before them and starts off with Red Wool Shield, Your monsters are safe and they have a damage boost.
I mean, Laomu is more like a monster that you have to trust her, because if she lands something like a freeze on Global Gloom, a stun, or anything else like what can deny your enemy, it's kind of like mostly the end of the monster if you have a good attacker ready to kind of eliminate the other monster, denied monster. She can heal, which I really like. And I mean, these both are mostly supporters, but they can be offensive too.
Mhm.
So that's like a two turn, like, I don't know how to say it, but I like them both, and it's really hard
It
to
is.
talk about Lamu, which is and she's amazing, but also talk about Sara, which is also amazing. I mean, we both have the good. It's not like Demise or Incognita. It's like now it's like Sara versus Lamu, mostly supporters, and one is or another. I mean, I like Possession and her gloomy Global Gloom, which is a negative effect.
Yeah.
I mean, other ones is just maybe Noxious Hit. No, it's Noxious Hit. Noxious Hit is single enemy poison, and Noxious Blow is also poison. I mean, it's just to say that both of these monsters are good, and I kind of use them both. I like Sarah's stun. I like Possession of Lamb, which is just
Yeah, they're good in their
really
own way. So let
yeah.
me, if you could only pick one of these monsters to have during your whole Monster Legends gameplay, would it be Laomu or would it be Sarah?
I'll probably say Lamu
You'll go
because
Laomu.
she can kind of, yeah, because Sarah can only deny monster, and Lamu can deny that monster, and he will also deal damage to the team, which and also Lamu is breathable, so it's
Yeah.
kind of
All right.
easier
All right. Thank
to
you for
rank
giving
her
your
up.
thoughts.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Later. Alright, so that was a really strong argument for Lamu, but like we both kind of agreed on, these monsters are both really good in their own way. So more people have joined the Discord, which is awesome. This stream can continue. I'm going to be pulling them up right now. Just give me a second. Alright, Demon, you're back because I don't know what happened to your mic last time. So you're going to defend Sarah, right? Oh, Demon, you still have to fix something with the mic. I can't hear you, so I'm going to throw you into general and then see if you can fix it, and then let me know on the Discord once it works. Alright, so let's get Dib. Dib, you are on and you're defending Laomu.
Yes.
Alright, I was going to have Demon, but he's having mic issues, so let me pull up someone else.
Yeah.
Sans Mama. Because I don't know what happened to your mic last time. Make sure you take me off if you're listening to me on the background.
Yeah, I closed out.
Alright, I was talking to Sans.
Oh, okay.
Fix it and then let me know on the Discord once it works.
Like Sans as in like Sans from like Undertale.
That's what, I think so.
Yeah, it works.
I never did get I don't know if I ever watched any of those like videos back in the day, but I actually did do a audition for like a Papyrus
Oh yeah, I saw.
fan comic.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, that
Oh.
never became a thing. I was kind of down about that.
I really like
Aw.
Sans so much.
Yeah.
He's so amazing.
How you doing?
All right, so
Who doesn't like? Okay.
let's start with let's hear Sans argument and then we'll move over to Dib.
Okay,
Sounds
so I
good.
think Sarah deserves a big shot because she's a good healer. I mean, her stats
Sans
are
speaking.
really amazing. Hold on, let me get on Monster Wiki real quick.
Okay.
It may take me a second. Dib, it's your turn, I guess.
All right,
Because I'm just
Dib,
searching.
Sans, I don't know, I guess you can't hear him, but he's gonna go on the wiki to look over both monsters, so he said you can take the stage.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm pulling up Lamu at the moment too. So I guess here's like here's the reason why I'm defending Lamu, since we're not playing the lab table card.
Yeah.
We're gonna totally judge it on just like skills and stuff like that. I kind of prefer Sarah, not Sarah, Lamu over Sarah. I do use Sarah a lot. Well, not like a whole bunch, but I have her. I actually have her. I don't have Lamu done yet. Lamu's still like level 1 in my main habitat. But here's why I choose Lamu. She has a single turn cooldown possession, and it does dazing. A lot of people don't really appreciate daze, but you kind of realize you can combo it with other stuff, and it works really well. It also helps the fact it is on a low cooldown. You should note that. In fact, a lot of her stuff are on fairly low cooldowns. It's a really good thing to note. And as you know, the more speed you have, if the enemy is not running a whole lot of speed and you take out the person with speed, Lamu gets more turns in. If you get rid of all the Pokemon, I mean not Pokemon words, if you get rid of all the monsters that are junked up on speed runes, you're gonna have a lot of turns in, and cooldowns don't exist to Lamu anymore. And you can do a lot of trolly things with puzzlement. You basically have the monster controlled the whole time, essentially. The only downside to puzzlement, I suppose, is the 35 stamina cost. The cost for the stamina is a bit problematic. In fact, everything is really relatively high stamina, like the AoE's 30 stamina, the harmonize the words nature, the third skill group heal is 33 stamina.
Yeah.
Very costly stamina. I think something to help that is like stamina regeneration from the other monster in your party, maybe. But yeah, for the most part, she can control really well. She isn't immune to stun, which is a downside. It's not too problematic because she usually runs full speed. Not too problematic. It may be a little, but you could actually do 2 speeds in a life rune too. That could also help out too, because she can take advantage of the life rune next to her life.
Mm-hmm. And just because I'm curious,
and a lot of,
yeah, I'm curious to hear. What do you think about Sarah? Do you obviously you prefer Lamu, but what do you think about Sarah?
I think Sarah. Okay, you can do a lot of you can do a lot of cheeky things with Sarah, but I think one of the main problems with her is she's only single target stunning. She does have the AoE immunity to freezing and stunning, but if you can control that, if you Lamu has the power to control that, so she can actually just control the denier if you show words wished.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
And it's kind of hard to put the healing move on. It's kind of hard to put the healing move on Sarah because you want to put both AoEs on Sarah, because they're both really strong. One of the AoEs gives you speed, immunity to poison, immunity to burn. Very helpful, very great with tanks. One of the problem is in terms of well, I guess for partners, there's a lot of partners that can go well with that, like a Tomb, or pretty much essentially any tank that's not a nature monster. Obviously not a nature monster because you got that nature build. And then you got that AoE that makes you immune to stun and freeze. But again, you can just possess. You can use Lamu's possession to take advantage of the other denier. They can deny hit them. Then you can go on to get a really good game. I'd like to use Lamu. I would rather use Lamu more in commons and uncommon wars too, because again, it's really hard to win those fights. Because natures are so bulky, and if you can kind of possess the nature attacker, that's also good.
All right, let's hear from Sans.
Okay, so Holy Crush is such a good move because it gives a stun effect. Of course, I mean, any earth monster can do that, not only that most. And it gives energy regen. But the thing about it is that Sarah can do tons of good, amazing things, but the cooldowns and the stamina are bad. And pretty much all her moves are... she's practically just a supporter instead of a denier. So I have to go with Laomu.
Wait, so you're not defending Sarah?
I tried my best.
You switched.
I'm sorry,
you
Sarah.
switched really fast.
I failed you.
Okay. I'm gonna... Alright, since we need someone to defend Sarah, let me try to bring up Demon again. Hopefully his mic works now. Because both of
Hopefully I can hear him too. I couldn't even hear sounds this whole time.
just know that he started off with Sarah, and then he started talking about cooldowns, and it ended up switching to Lamu.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so Demon.
That's an interesting switch.
Demon.
Well, see you.
Hello?
Later.
Hello.
Is it working?
Yes, it's working.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, sorry, I'm just stressed out.
No, it's totally fine, buddy.
Dib,
Yes.
keep going, please.
Oh, about the Laomu thing?
Yes.
Alright, for starting over again.
No,
So yeah,
Wait,
my main points.
hold
Dib,
on, Dib.
don't start over.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
start over. Keep the conversation going.
Well, I think Dib
Oh,
finished,
okay.
right? Did you say all you had to say?
I also like to add she can heal her ally too, so that can help too. Because of like, let's say you're single target. Let's say you're singled out. Let's say the Ulcis like poisoned like a
Well,
monster,
real quick, Dib,
and you need
what
to.
skill set would you run on Laomu?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would run Puzzlement. I would run the uh, Noxus Hit. I'd run Glob of Gloom, and either Retrify and or just either or like the harmonizing nature
Yeah.
or the Retrify.
All right.
Probably
So,
the Retrified
yeah,
because it's
the
a more
40%,
solid.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it helps with the poison.
Okay, I think that's the skill set I'd go to. I might not. I think instead of Noxious Hit, I would go with Blow. Just, yeah, even though it has a 2-turn cooldown, I think I just like
Yeah.
that extra little damage. But because I think mostly you're gonna focus on puzzlement and then other skills. But anyways, I want to hear
I was
Demon.
trying to like less stamina cost. I was kind of going for more less stamina
Yeah,
cost while
that
just
too.
spreading
23 to
poison.
32. That's a huge difference. So maybe Noxious Hit could be used.
Well, okay. Now I'm gonna explain my reasons for Sarah.
Go for it.
Okay.
Like, of course, she has the 2 stuns, and then Lamu has that that the hardened pause. But like I was saying, like of course, like it's not like hardened's pretty good, but it's just like when you compare it to Nature Wars, she can get like so many effects in, like like the stun, poison, etc. I don't want to list it, but all those effects, like like of course Lamu can just like poison. Oh yeah, Sarah, you're gonna get poisoned real good, okay? But it's just like like Sarah's just gonna reflect that move with yellow roll shield, so that's just gonna be useless. And plus, you'll get that haste if that actually lands. There's that small chance that would actually land. But it's just like of course Sarah has the stun, and then Lamu has like the healing. So you know how annoying that is. In like Earth and Nature Wars with the healing. Oh my gosh, like I had that once before. Wait, no, it was actually a Nature and Light War. Oh, I did not like those type of wars. Like of course it was a ranked team. Like of course I had to face like the 105 and plus in bars, and like there was like 110s and 20s Lamus. But I got my team, Demise, the level 100 Demise with the X runes, and then we got General Altus, level 105.
Demon, bring it back to Sarah and Lamu.
Yeah, like I was trying to say that, like I'm trying to compare it to Light and Nature Wars, because but that's why Lamu like and like it's pretty painful to deal with, when it's ranked. But if it's like 100, then Sarah's just gonna take it easily, just easily gonna take it, because the stun, and then there was like the other monster, like the attacker, and then you just beat him with the attacker, so that means Lamo's out of the question, and then there's the attacker you gotta deal with. But then you can always use Sarah to stun, because she has that 0 cooldown stun, and then like she also has that another skill, the red wool, that can give immunity to stun and freeze.
What skill set would you run on a Sarah again, Demon?
I would use the 2 stuns, the healing, and the red wool.
Red wool, okay.
I tried to say that earlier, but it's just like for some reason my mic was acting up.
I like to bring up the fact you said the yellow, like if you use the yellow shield, you'd be okay against Lamu. You didn't say you'd run the both.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't say you'd run the yellow shield.
No, I actually run both on my main account, but I kind of messed it up because, like, of course, you won't really need it because, like, of course, it's like, oh, you will lose power, like, but it's just like, it's just not really a big thing. Like, of course, like, it's 10%, like, oh, 10% life, that's like a big disadvantage. Like, it's just not really gonna matter because, like, of course, you're gonna cover that life with the 30% heal, damage heal, so.
Yeah. What about the other monster?
Lamu?
Let's say you're in a situation where.
Okay, explain me a war. Okay, for example. Okay, I'm gonna say common, right? We explain.
Yeah.
nature and whatever element you think of. All right, and then I'll try to figure it out.
All right. Let's say you're going with nature, and let's say let's say dark. All right.
Oh, okay, that's easy. You would use Krampus because Krampus with the freeze. You got that high percentage. He can freeze for sure and he outspeeds Lamu. So, or you can use Jap.
I'm talking about in the case with
Like,
let's say they're using Harasami, right? And you're using
yeah, exactly. You would use the AOE freeze.
let's say you use so yeah, you have Sarah, so a denier, and Krampus, another denier. You have like no damage on your team. They're using, let's say the Harasami, let's say their team isn't bulky. Sarah, in case of wars, when I've ran Sarah and I'm against bulky opponents, it doesn't usually go well.
Well, because you're not playing it well enough. Because of course you'd be like, oh, like of course, but life runes. Like of course I'm playing in ahead. But it's just like when you think about it, it would take time. Like those type of strategies would sometimes take time because natures are like healers and stuff. But it would actually take time to actually just trying to think what you're trying to do. Like two deniers, of course, like that's pretty good. But it's just like there's a chance you might fail. So that's why you would always have to be aware. Like it could be like a luck. It's like a luck. Like basically, like if it's a Lamu and then you on defense, then it's good. There's like it takes a 20% accuracy of what you're using. Like what it's gonna actually land. Of course, it's gonna land the freeze on Horasami because he's immune to stun. So like you use team speed on your common because pretty simple, but it's just like like of course like after your freeze. Okay, imagine if it did land, if it did land the AOE freeze, then Krampus can just do the burning, like the burning gift. Lamu would probably do the healing, I guess, or would probably do the other stun move. So it's just like there's so many ways you can do it. It's just you need to plan it with the right skill set also. I think you should have thought about that, Dib, just being honest. Like tell me another situation if you can.
Alright, let me think here. Okay, let's say you didn't have Krampus, right? Let's say like you didn't have a freezer on you. Let's say you can't just constantly like you don't have a freezer on you, right? That's just the one thing you don't have is a freezer. The attacker, the damage is immune to stun. Let's say that. Well, yeah. Let's just do Harasami again, or just anything. Like Harasami is the only dark monster immune to stun, right?
Yeah, of course.
So you can't deny their at this point. You can't really deny their damage. In all honesty, you can't deny the damage. That's kind of hard to counteract with. Let's say they're not playing brittle, and let's say you also don't have like the Barbatos and or Razul. Let's say you can't do double damage. Let's say you can't do that. Let's say you can't instantly win in a turn. Let's say that, and it's a long fight.
Wait, so still darker nature, right?
It's still dark in nature, yeah. And it's like it's a common and uncommon war. How do you protect your?
So if I can't use Barbatos like with the double damage, and I can't, let's see here. So it'll still be Hirosami and Lamu on defense, right?
Yep.
Like, of course, there's Mommy who can do the AoE possession, but thing is, like, Lamu like outspeeds Mommy, and with team speed, of course, it'll support it. It's just like, like, of course, it depends who actually goes first. Like, if the Lamu goes first, but thing is, Lamu does not have like a perfect deny. That's the thing. But you would obviously lose a coin, like one coin. But if it's like a secure deny, like of course Sarah would still have the stun. And then after that, if it is actually Mommy's turn, then Mommy can just do like the AoE. Or no, she can. There's two ways you can do it. You can either do the AoE possession or the 2-turn possession. So, like,
both.
And then like, of course, like you would have to be aware of that the damage. But thing is, like, if a Horasami is like has, of course, I don't think someone would run a full speed. I see people run full speed Horasamis sometimes.
You can
Because
go
like,
either or.
but it's just like you make him an attacker or like a denier. But of course, he'll probably be useful as an attacker. So like, well, he would probably have like 2 speeds and a strength. That's all I'll say. There's no like unless you're like I don't know about Terra's setup. I think he used pretty. I think he used 2 strengths and a speed. I don't remember, but something like that. But like it's a good setup, but it's just like you need to think about like the defenses. But like I was saying, like if it was an attacker Hosami, it would probably get denied. It's most likely going to get denied, and like you would, and then the Horasami, when it's Horasami's turn, it would just wipe out the team, its own team. So it's basically most likely based on the Laomu or Sarah going first.
All right, let me put out a scenario. What if it's a fire nature war where Laomu and Darmith are on defense? Would you rather have Sarah or Laomu?
Sarah. I would still probably use Sarah because of that stun. So even though like
you would stun the enemy. Who would you stun? Darmith or Laomu?
I would probably most like. Okay, if I'm going to take out the, I'm going to say if it's just based on 2 monsters because I don't want to add the comics. That's just confusing.
Okay.
It's way too much. So like it would be more harder to explain. Like basically, I would probably like if it's like a luck based, like of course there's Laomu like would probably if it's based on the AI basically. So like if the AI actually does the gloom move, like the one negative effect, like of course like
let's start over. Laomu and Sarah, Laomu and Darmith are on defense, right?
Yeah.
And you're going first, obviously, because they have the same base speed. So you chose Sarah. Who would you?
But thing is like,
who would you stun?
I would probably have to stun the Laomu. So just being honest, because like,
and then, so then
the Darmith.
So then, what fire monster would you bring?
Well, Shalinar and Darmith actually has the same speed. If you didn't know that.
So who would you bring?
But I would probably bring Shalinar.
Okay.
Because wait, no, not Shalinar. Probably. Is it like it's kind of hard? Like it's kind of a little challenging. Like of course, like I would have to stun the Laomu because if I go for Dartmouth, like that 35%, it's just not gonna, it's just gonna avoid it. Like that's a high percentage to miss, like 35.
And then what about you, Dib? Who would you bring in that water scenario?
Well, for the fire type.
For the
or just like
for nature, would you go with Sarah or would you go for Laomu?
For that situation, I would actually go for Laomu. Because what I do, depending on like if I let's say I bring like a fire monster that doesn't like okay, let's say I didn't have like a double damage dealer, I would I'd get confiscated with that, and I'd bring something that that's good with denying, and you know, kind of like let me think about it.
Well, ignoring the fire monster, what would you do with Laomu? You would possess or global gloom, or what would you do?
For my what I do for mine, I'd possess the other Laomu, or I'd probably maybe possess the damage dealer, because I have it has a good chance of doing the AOE, even though it has like a 35% chance, because it's kind of the damage dealer.
So, but then the enemy Laomu would get a turn in, and then that can wreck you.
Oh, that's a good point. I'd go back with denying. I'd probably go back with denying Laomu then.
Okay.
Depending on the situation. I want to know what to actually bring for the fire monster.
Okay. I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Alright, I've had you guys on long enough, so I'm going to be taking you guys out. Thank you guys for both sharing your thoughts on this.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright. Alright, so there we have it. Unfortunately, there's no new people on the Discord. I guess maybe I should have announced this a lot earlier. So that will be concluding this live stream. I do want to give a huge thanks to Gaming with Dragon Jacket, who actually donated $2 earlier during the stream. I didn't want to interrupt Demon and Dib because they were talking. But yeah, thanks a lot to Gaming with Dragon Jacket. I believe I'm reading the comments. He loves using Sara over Laomu. And personally, I think I like Sara more than Laomu. Mostly because of Red Wool Shield, that immunity to freeze and stun can be powerful in so many wars like Earth and Water Wars, because she is faster than a lot of Earth deniers and faster than a lot of Water deniers. So I do like Sara in that case. However, on an even situation, I think I'm going to agree with what Dib said. Laomu being able to possess, that having a 1-turn cooldown, that gives you a huge advantage. Like in a Water Nature War, if you use Laomu to possess the enemy water monster may end up denying its own team. You know, it's possible. And whereas Sara can stun. However, if you try to stun on Laomu, that'll only work 80% of the time. Whereas if Sara's on defense and you try to possess Sara, that's always gonna work. So it is really difficult. I think depending on the team war, each of these monsters can be really good. As far as who's better, ignoring the fact that Laomu is easily breedable and you can easily rank up Laomu, it is a very difficult question. So right now, I want you guys to post a 1 in the chat if you think that Laomu is better, and I want you to post a 2 in the chat if you think that Sara is better. Overall, like obviously some monsters work better in certain situations, but overall, who do you think is better? I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say. Again, like I'm a big Sara fan. However, if we compare both monsters, like rank 5, level 130, full speed runes, it's a really difficult question to answer. And also, while you guys are still here, I will be posting a level 1 to 115 for the Assassin's Race monster. I'm also going to be posting my version of the top 5 nature monsters. Even though we had this discussion, you may, oh, I'm seeing a lot of ones. Awesome. I'm seeing a lot of ones. Okay, I'm going to read everything I see right now. 1 1 1 2 2 1 1 1 1 2 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1. So I think we're seeing more ones than we are 2. So I think the majority of the community, at least the ones that are watching this live stream, would have to say that Laomu is better. So with that being said, that will be concluding the comparison. Also be sure to let me know what monsters you want to see compared next. Post in the chat when the video gets uploaded. Make sure to comment on there so I can see. Normally I go with the monster that has the most I go with the team comparison. I go with the monster comparisons that have the most thumbs up. So if you like a comparison, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And anyways, I'm going to be posting level 1 to 100. I'm also going to be doing my version of the top 5 nature monsters to take in Team Wars. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Make sure to join me next week when we do another comparison series. And I'll see you guys then. Remember to dream big and pursue your passions.